youtube.com/YouTube, and you will see the live link. I think we've got our YouTube audience coming in. Started 7 seconds ago, so yes, we are there. So feel free to jump on in. If you are not subscribed, make sure to do so and click that like button and say good morning to us in the chat room. We're happy to hear from you guys over there. So let's see. Risk disclaimer. We got to put this one out there. Market's moving pretty well, so let's go ahead and say this. There is a very high degree of risk involved in trading. You and you alone will be responsible for all decisions you make. Make sure you make them responsibly. Excuse me. Always consider risk when trading, and remember, past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Crude opened at 97.99 last night. The high was 98. The low, I got a question mark on there because it had been moving down earlier, but 92.21 is the low for crude. They are back up to 93.74, but coming down a little bit and challenging last week's lows. We'll see how that plays out. Iran, of course, as always, is in the news until they are not, so we'll keep an eye on that. We had some big earnings this morning from JPM, BlackRock, Citi, Wells Fargo, and of course the PPI news. Prior read was 3.9. This is for the core. Today's core read came in at 3.8% on PPI. Some key levels here. I've added in a couple numbers on the top. The January high, which is currently the high of the year, at 70.43. February high, got a typo in there, but 70.27 quarter, got the number right. And then the week opened at 67.80, and you can see all that space in between 67.80 and 70.27 quarter. That's where the market lives right now. Tom, you basically called it. You said, hey, if that VIX gets down, watch this market go up. That's exactly what's happening. How do you feel about this?
I feel pretty good. As I just had a great meeting with my Connect the Dots people, my T-Buzz All-Stars, and showed how you go from very hands-off now, being very careful, to getting aggressive. And now that the VIX is riding about 1872, 1872 is below that 20 level, you'd be a little bit more aggressive. Silver, gold, I think too early for me to pronounce that new highs will be made in the next 30 to 45 days, but I'll tell you, they look very good. Both silver and gold look very good. I bought some actual stock of SLV. I told people I'd get back in at 70.55. I'd have to go look at where I said them if it was one of my top 10 tickers. I know that the QQQ's taking the deal. I said get long the QQQ at 615.55, and the QQQ's at 623. You'd have bought a Delta 30 there, you'd be cooking with gas. And the TQQ hadn't got there yet. Let's see, AMD hadn't got there, but SLV, here it is. Here's the play of the week. I said get long SLV at 70.55. Did anybody get any alerts and actually take action on SLV going above 70.55? I'm just curious. Am I doing this for fun, or are we doing this to make money? There's somebody saying, yes, I did. Makes you money listening, doesn't it? 20%, Kevin said. Look at that.
It certainly helps.
Copy what Kevin wrote. Everybody ought to see that. That's somebody that came and is listening and going to make money because he's listening. Way to go, Kevin. Way to go, Tatiana. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, have fun doing it. But anyway, the two that have hit big are the QQQ. You can check the SPY, I didn't check it. Yeah, SPY's big too. So I've got 3 out of 10. Typically 4 to 6 out of 10 hit during the week. Okay. And, pretty good off the 10 tickers. Jonathan, did any of my power stocks I gave this morning go off?
Yeah, QQQ hit trigger and hit target. We got in and out of that one. David says up 18% so far. The programs out of that QQQ. CoreWeave actually screamed higher, moved a little too fast for the alert service to get in and out of that one. But if you got the information and you were quick on your feet, you could have made a real quick buck on that one too. CoreWeave. Those two, Tom.
Okay, perfect. That's good. People ask me, Tom, why do some weeks you put out the power stocks and why other weeks you don't? Well, number one, you're only getting in the trade on Tuesday out by Friday. That's really carving out a small window of exposure. And I got to make sure I just can't put you things to do some program. I got to make your money doing it. And this morning I had about 10 choices this morning to go with, and I went with those 5 because I felt they were the best. Okay, and I'm big on silver anyway. I stepped aside when it broke 70, and now I'm getting back in it, and I think silver is one. Nvidia, I like it, but the point is, you got to be willing to act when the opportunity's there, and it's hard for a lot of people to go from say, hey, they've been out of the market, they start enjoying the fact they don't have the pain and suffering when you get in the market. You're wrong, and they avoid getting back in. Well, I always set a price to get back in when I leave a market because of what happened here on February 28th when we started the conflict. So these are the kind of things that you learn from experience, okay? And I think that's good. And yeah, just think it's really, really important to do that, okay? So Wendy, I was talking about Sunday night posting my top 10 tickers. That's what I was talking about. Those are, you got to act on your own on those. Pretty simple, but you do have to act. I like that because it forces you to pay attention and you learn. That's my opinion.
Yeah, Sunday night session, always a great way to start out the week, and an even better way to start out the week this week. Let's take a look here. I want to tell you about Tom's first book, plus the trilogy, Roadmap to the Markets, available on Amazon. Winning the Day Trading Game, we have a complimentary audio link there for you, dtitrader.com/WDTG. The Markets Never Sleep and Trade to Win, also available at Amazon.com. Online public resources that we like to use, we've used these or I've used them extensively this morning with some of the news coming out. ForexFactory.com, Econoday.com, EarningsWhispers.com. We're in the midst of earnings season, so that's always a great place to go and check out what's happening. We want to, kind of take a look and see what's coming down the line. Tom, more financial stocks are in the running here, although the big ones, the big names have just come out, kind of signaling the beginning of earnings season, and the market seems to like what it's seeing. So we'll play that out a little bit. Some exchanges to look at: CMEGroup.com, NYSE.com, Eurex.com. If you're looking around for markets to trade, these exchanges are a great place to go and check out the hours. Additional resources that we have available here at DTI: the DTI white paper booklet, DTItrader.com/WP. Tom's YouTube page, and hello to all our YouTube participants over there. We've got a few people showing up. Let me take a quick look in here. Yeah, all right. So we got a couple. We got a few likes in there as well. Important terms to know. This is, we do talk about trading, and there is a specific language to trading that you'll hear Tom, myself, and Jonathan all drop into. If there's a word that you're confused about, please feel free to ask in the chat. But if you don't have time to ask in the chat, make sure you check out important terms to know. Tom's penalty tape is available at the designated link here. And Options EDU, Tom's BNN interview. Let me just click over one more slide and tell you about that Options EDU, new options education resource at DTItrader.com/options Options EDU. You might have noticed that a lot of the trades that you can look at doing here and help to contain or control some of that risk. There is always risk involved, but we do like to control it when we can. You can find out some of the tools we use to do that here over at dtitrader.com/optionsedu. April FTD stocks. Well, this is going to be a pretty picture. Let me go ahead and click right in here, bring up this page and drop that down to, where do we want to go to? Down to about 50%. Well, that might be a little bit much. We'll go to 75%. I think that gets the job done. The big number here, I think, is the VIX. The VIX, which opened January at 1483 and then up to 35.3 in March, is now down to 1847 and actually a little bit lower as we speak. That's the cash VIX, and showing up short, but more importantly, being below the March low, the April FTD low, and the well, basically all those numbers. So we have pushed back into January range for the VIX. So we'll see how that plays out. And we see a little bit here. Big markets, S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, all showing long. They're all above the FTD highs. Crude is showing short, and that's a good marker there. Gold still sitting on the sidelines a little bit, although they are getting very close to that FTD high. Tom mentioned silver. The FTD high was 76. You're up to 78.99. So we got a long sighting there. Bitcoin, bonds are a little bit still in the mix. And just coming down the list, let's start looking at some of these stocks. Let's get out of the futures, although I know there are a few extras in here that Tom likes to look at. But let's come down and start looking at some of these stocks. We got mostly ETFs in this range, and you can see all that long side, the exception being USO and XLU. Those are exceptions that I think we can live with. And just coming down the list, start getting a little bit mixed when we get down into, what is this, retail and tech. And got a few things that are kind of lagging a little bit, maybe moving in the different directions. So you do have to be a little bit selective about what you're looking for, which, Tom, I think brings up why they should pay attention to things like that Sunday night session where you're telling them exactly what to look at, because this is not like the raging 90s. You remember that, where you could just throw a stone at the market and it would float higher. So
That's
we
where
do
the
have
monkey
to be.
was the top. Remember the monkey, Wall Street monkey was the top trader on the street.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, but it's a different market today. You do have to be a little bit selective, and that's why we have things like Sunday night planning session. That's why people go to dtitrader.com/weekly to see the published article from last night, your weekly trade letter.
That's posted in YouTube, right? Because I don't think you should trade with me anyway, unless you listen to the Sunday night planning session. You ought to make that part of one of your rules, because that sort of frames what I'm thinking for the week. Sunday night, you knew that, number one, I didn't think we were going down. I thought we were going higher. And I even gave an all bets off number Sunday night and said, I think I'm right as long as we stay above this number. Well, I don't know about you. As a trader, I want to get the information not after it's gone up, 3 or 4%, but before it does that. And Sunday night, I frame it every week, and then with my pivot numbers, you have the pivot numbers every day to judge the daily action. We got a pretty good plan here. It works. The first step of that plan is to be there Sunday night. Now, that used to be the only people that used to come to Sunday night were my T-Buzz All-Stars. I opened it up for everybody because I found out a lot of people were not in the T-Buzz All-Stars, and they were missing a lot of key information. I just said, here, I'll make it for everybody. But if you can't make it, you've got to watch the recording that week. I think it's invaluable if you want to make money. Now, if you don't want to make money, do anything you want to do. That's a pretty strong statement. That's the way I feel about it, because I put a lot of time over the weekend to prepare each week, and I share it with you. And
Yeah.
it helps a lot of people that really appreciate it. And I want to thank all of y'all for sending me those love letters you've been sending. But like the weekend side hustle, you know, I tell you on the weekend side hustle that if you do the weekend side hustle, it won't cost you a thing. All you got to do is buy the program, get in there, and take the trades every Friday. When I put it out, the odds are off the charts in the weekend side hustle. Just like the thing I caught on the put call. That was $199. It's going to generate insurance, plus it's going to generate a whole bunch of money. We're doing that this Friday, the final touch. So you will find, if you lock into my strategy, I don't know any strategies out there. It's good. I've been in this business 40 years. And I'm not being, prideful about it. I just seen what everybody's got. I know what we got. We got the tools. We got everything necessary to make money. That's what we're here for, right? Make money. And the 3-day algo will give that to you.
Yeah, and Tom, I just referenced in the link for that Sunday night planning, which, as you mentioned, is available on YouTube. So if you are subscribed to the YouTube channel where we are currently streaming, you should get a warning about that popping up on Sunday night. We invite everybody to come in. You can join us through Zoom or join us on YouTube. Be more than happy to have you guys come in and listen in and see what we're doing there. And moving on here, Tom, it looks like we've got your 3-day plan to make money with options. And this is day 2 of the 3 days. So what have we got going on here?
Okay, Sean, I would not be in Microsoft. You're wasting your time, money, and everything else when you can take the same dollars and put it in one of my stocks. That answer it? There'll be time to get in Microsoft, and I'll get you in there. All right, where's the guy up there? I was trying to help Sean.
Yeah, no, there was a correction that needed to be made on the spreadsheet. Jonathan's going to be working on that. So we're going to get that updated, and that link's going to be available. So we'll bring that up a little bit later. Actually, I think Jonathan might have already fixed it.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, we added CoreWeave yesterday. And on my roadmap, I guess it didn't save properly or something like that. So got that fixed now, and not really much change though. Ironically, when everything's green, everything tends to stay green, doesn't it? But anyways, let's go to the lesson of the day, Tom, which is your day 2 of your 3-day plan.
Okay. Now, this is something I told people in T-Buzz All-Stars, anybody that would listen. Anytime the market drops from above 20 to below 50, it's going to seek new highs. The normal range where it normally sits during the bull market, 16 to 18, okay? And, right now it's at 18. So it's dropped from 25, 26. Now it's down here at 18. That tells you that the fear gauge is being diminished. And people are going to come off the sidelines and buy more. You're early. A lot of people don't use this. You're early. Don't look at a stock like NVIDIA at 193.55 and say, hey, it's too high. No, it's going higher. That's why this morning in a couple of programs, I said, buy it. Give yourself enough. If you buy options, buy time, buy the stock. Going higher. I got 5 tickers in focus: MU, NVIDIA, SLV, Intel, and Google. This is a review for people in the T-Buzz All-Stars, but I wanted to review it for everybody because it's so valuable with what we got. These are stocks that fit criteria. What's the criteria? Above the 3-day high and above Monday's high. Now, they might not be set up today to go higher, but these is where I look. Any questions about that? Jonathan, cover this for everybody who will. I'm checking on something here.
Right. So a few guidelines to trading on Tuesdays. Stocks need to be above the FTD high. That's one of the main things we're looking at there. We need to be above the week open, so the second step, and then stocks need to be above Monday's high. So what you're looking for a market that is moving in a certain direction. Lisa asked, "What is
Hey,
FTD?"
Chuck, let me
FTD.
interrupt you real quick. If you're in my futures training, is anybody long D-mini? I'm just asking. If you're long D-mini, you got to risk down to 45. Make some money. Goodness gracious, they're handing you money. I taught it. It was our feature. You know, make some money. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, definitely big movement up today in the market, certainly. The question about FTD. FTD is first 3 days. So we look at the first 3 days of the month, highest high, lowest low. And so that FTD high is the highest high in the first 3 days. We want to see the market moving in a certain direction. In this case, it's moving positive. So that's obviously a little bit of a benefit, especially to investors, but also to traders. Now we prefer the market to be above the prior week high as well. So whether you're looking at an individual stock or an ETF, maybe an index future, you're always looking for the same thing. You want that direction working in your favor. 72-hour trading in on Tuesday, out no later than Friday. We understand markets move, they gravitate, they don't move in one direction all that often. So we want to take advantage of that time when we can and reset and come back to that board, see if it still fits. And that's what we're looking for on that other side. So 72 hours. And then Tom, we've got a couple of current viewpoints that we're going to be bringing up here.
Yeah, I just updated this as of not even 30 seconds ago, so we can have a fresh look here.
All right,
Micron.
look at MU. Everybody see the current price is 435. First question that I asked, where's MU trading? Well, MU's trading 438. The second question I asked, I go look at MU and see that it opened at 434. So MU would qualify. I always check where it opened today. Okay. Look at NVIDIA. Goodness gracious. If you're listening, what else do I need to tell you? SLV. Story there. Get along. Intel. Now, Intel went to 66.15 last night. They're taking profits on Intel, so maybe you don't want to buy it just yet because the opening price for the day on Intel, let me give it to you. Open price on Intel was 65, so it's corrected. This would not qualify today. You'd wait until tomorrow. But as long as it's above that high, 65, I'd buy it. Now, I own it long term. I got a full position on it, pretty sizable position, but I planned on holding it to a target of 75. It's a longer picture trade, but I made a bunch of money getting here too. I started about 60. How about Google? Look at Google. Current price 328. Monday's high was 319. What's the day's opening on Google? 322. Goodness gracious. I missed that one. Look at Google. Maybe that's when I ran out of money. Hey, Sean, I'd rather own Google than Microsoft. Microsoft have its time. It's just not having its time right now. Oh, you're short, Microsoft. You're okay then. Okay. I thought you were long. Good job. Water. I've never looked at RKLB, but I will. I like the name of it. What is it? Rocket Lab? I never traded, but I thank you. I'll check that out. Water. I like that name, Water. Pedro, I trade both stock, options, and futures. Oh, Waldo. His name's Waldo. Okay. I'm confused. Walter. I gotta laugh. Somebody said, I can't hear the guy with the white hair. Who was that said that got my attention? I thought I always have people say, talk loud. I don't see it. Who that was. Oh, Francisco said, I can barely hear the guy with the white hair. Oh, I'm Tom Busby. Let me introduce myself, Francisco. Can you hear me now? I shouldn't echo though. Anybody else over there? David says it's not white hair, it's platinum. Yeah, Pedro, Jonathan, put the white papers in there for Pedro. He's a new person. He can read that and then ask a question. It does give you entry and exit times throughout the day. That's what you're looking for, the DTI white paper. AMD just took off.
Yeah, AMD and NVIDIA, I had to step aside there. They triggered for the power program just a moment ago.
AMD, huh? AMD. I like AMD. You know that, right? AMD probably headed to 250, 2.5, 255 today. AMD.
Yeah, it's moving fast.
Hey, Tom, we've got a question from YouTube. I thought you might like to lean in on this. Someone asking, is there a way that you like to trade earnings?
Yeah, we got a whole course in it, but the simple answer, yes. I don't trade earnings before earnings. I trade after earnings. You get in before earnings, you get something like Goldman Sachs. If they had a double beat, the market sold off 40 points. Kevin asked, am I still long Apple from last week? I don't think so, Kevin. We got out, didn't we, Jonathan, on Apple?
Yep, sure did. Apple was actually down a little bit this morning. I looked at it. Yep, still
Well,
down.
Apple is something that it goes into these zones, okay? And if you want to stand back and look at Apple, would you rather put money in Apple or NVIDIA? Give me a yes if you'd rather put money in Apple. Give me a no if you'd rather put money in NVIDIA today. Talking about today now. $250, Carol, I'd use 257 on Apple. Below that, I'd get out. Got time, hang. No, NVIDIA is wanting to run, okay? This is investment grade, just like Apple. Apple's investment grade. I mean, you know, you're gonna hold on to it for years. It doesn't hurt you, but if you're trying to trade, you gotta be careful. See, NVIDIA was a buy at 190.55. It's 193.57. I think it's 196. Just say it. Does everybody understand what I'm trying, the point I'm trying to make about have your setup using that 3-day algo? That's really the point of this.
Yeah, let's review here. We got Micron, 385 was the high from the first 3 trade days of the month. And we're above that. 426.88 was the high from yesterday. And we're above that. So all systems are go this week for Micron. NVIDIA, the FTD high was 178 or 178 pretty much. The Monday high was 189.5 to 190, and we're trading at 193. Check mark for NVIDIA. SLV, the 3-day high and the week start high were very close, just shy of 69, and we're trading at 71.5. Check mark for SLV. Intel, 3-day high was 52. Yesterday's high was 65.65. Current price 63. So Intel, you can see by the tape here, that is under a little bit of pressure this morning, not quite ripe for trading today. You can see Google 298, 319, 328. If you follow the progression of price here, you can clearly see which stocks are paying you to the long side today and which stocks you should stay out of right now for, trading short term, whether it be intraday or on a 3-day swing basis. Prices on a pause for Intel right now.
Now we're approaching a period of time for all the new people. This is called Genesis. And I'll be looking this afternoon for continuation days on these stocks that are very bullish. So let's go to the roadmap real quick, showing what a continuation day looks like, Jonathan. You got 4 candidates there, right? You got MU, NVIDIA, SLV, and Google.
First up is Intel. Or excuse me, Micron. I had Intel in mind. Micron with the 30-minute chart of Micron.
All right, where's that high today on Micron?
This morning's high was up at 440.73.
440.73?
Yep.
So I'd say if Micron goes above 441.55, it becomes a continuation day. And what does that mean? Well, it means that it's fighting the odds and they're going to press it higher all the way to RB4, which is at 2 o'clock. And if RB4 is bullish, it's all the way to the close. So that's the way you look at this time of day. So that's a continuation day for Micron. All right, what's the next one?
NVIDIA just made the high of the day in the last half hour, up at 193.72.
All right, I'd go 194.11 after 12 o'clock. That would be a continuation day for NVIDIA. I want to be higher during this zone that we've been for a continuation day. So that, you got to watch that. Okay, what else you got?
Silver, SLV, the high this morning was 71.80.
Yeah, I would say 72.55 is push more chips to the board. Y'all like the way I signified that? I'm pretty bullish on silver. I've been out of it, and I got out of it even though I was bullish on the year. I didn't want to go through the pain and suffering because I could definitely see we were headed lower. How low did silver go during that sell-off I avoided? This is the value of being with me.
SLV went down to a low of $60.
$11. What's $11 on 60? About 18% it went down. I don't take that kind of pain and suffering. Too old. That's how I got my platinum hair. So I'm back in it.
So
Mike, what's the next one we're going to look at?
we'll skip over Intel and go to Google. It's making new highs right now.
Yeah, you got to wait till this bar is over. If it goes higher in Genesis, it's going to have a continuation day. So Genesis is going to set the high, and you need to wait, make sure it sets high. Is this helping y'all? Me showing you how to go behind the scenes to find out what to do this afternoon? And by the way, I've got a rule. If you're an option trader, 72 hours, better be paying you. You got a good reason to stay. Okay, so you got the numbers. QQQ, I think we're going to look at it, Jonathan, because it could be big this afternoon if it makes a continuation day. I mean, we could really get open field, that and NVIDIA. David, you see what I'm talking about with NVIDIA? I talked to David today. I said, hey, NVIDIA is a better play. You see what I mean, David? How about you, Fred? You see what I'm talking about? This is what we do. This is what we do. These guys have been one-on-one with me and know that shorthand lingo for, hey, when I put $1 on this one, I can put $1 over here and get $1.50 at the end of the day. John, I like you. I tell you, I appreciate you dialing in, becoming one of our guys, because you give us some good information. Chuck, you ought to be copying some of that information in there. John's really on point with a lot of stuff he puts out there. He was the only one out of about 350 people that said, Tom, I would agree with your strategic analysis of this market on Sunday night. I said, I like the guy already. I was out there on the limb telling you that, but I felt good about it. This is QQQ. All right, what's the high so far on the QQQ?
We got a 625.09 high made during the Genesis reference bar.
327.55. If it goes above 327.55, press it. Should be long at 15.55. Long again this morning if you're in TNT, and long if you're in power. But I'm going to tell you, I think if it goes above 627.55, don't let the shorts out. Make and pay. You know what I mean by that, right? Punish those guys that are uneducated. Y'all didn't know I had a vicious side, did you? Some people call it aggressive. I hope everybody's having as good a day as I am. I'm having a lot of fun with this market. It's so nice to have it again. Golly, did I show? Was I the? If you look up patience and discipline in the dictionary, you see my picture after going through what we went through. Patience and discipline. Golly, it was tough as a trader to sit there with your hand in your pocket, except for certain targeted plays. Man, it's tough to get up every day. It was awful. Awful, Peg said. All right, let's wrap this thing up. We got anything we want them to partake in right now?
Yeah, well, I know that you play these Tuesday trades. You play with outright calls. You play with debit call spreads. You even sell put spreads on them. One important aspect of this is if you're bullish a stock for the week because it's above, the FTD high and the week start high, the low from Monday should not be taken out. even closer than that, the week open really shouldn't be taken out either. Flip that around. If you're bearish on a stock below the 3-day low and below Monday's low, well, guess what? The high from Monday shouldn't be taken out. And really, the week open shouldn't be taken out, the upside. So, any questions on what we covered today? Tom, you know, your methodology is about as clear as it could be. That's what I love about it. You can take this.
But I got one thing to say before we go to what are we I'm sorry, are we doing live trading tomorrow? We're doing T-Buzz again? Okay, before we do that, Jonathan, I want you to go back to the roadmap real quick. Put a chart of, you got NVIDIA in there, put a 30-minute chart of NVIDIA. All right, what I'd look for, if you're not in it already, I am, but what I'd look for after Genesis is a higher high. This is a textbook trade that we teach with our roadmap software. And if it goes higher than that white bar, it's going. President, Tom, you didn't have to wait on me. I got in already. All right. I might buy more, Fred, if it does that, though. That's all I'm saying. QQQ's gone up 40 cents since I've been talking. Can't do any more, folks. I can't do any more. All right, Jonathan, what else we got today? You got anything else today?
I believe that's the end of the schedule there. For
Folks,
today.
it's been a pleasure being with everybody. The lesson inside T-Buzz All-Stars will pay for this. So join T-Buzz All-Stars. That's a short thing. Put the link in there in case you don't want to listen to the tape. That's my promise. The lesson I taught today in T-Buzz All-Stars will pay for, what is it, a $97 entry fee or something like that?
Yep. Yes, sir. 30 days for $97.
I even go one further. If I don't make you $97, it's because you didn't listen. But if you join and don't believe the value's there, get a refund. Of course, I'll kick you out of here if you ever do that. Now, let's have some fun together, folks. We finally got a decent market. Let's take advantage of it. Well, John, you got to ask me sometime my story. Smith Barney paid me a bunch of money to go work for them from Merrill back in the day. I actually had private stock in Smith Barney when we got taken over by Primerica. Not a lot of people could say that. I did. Jonathan, what do you think? You got anything? Want to wrap it up? Folks, the short course is buy it right now. The long course, listen to what we have to say. Y'all have a great day. I'm excited. If you're in my futures program, you're already paying for it with that. When I told you already get long. It's fun to be back in a market, isn't it? Let's make some of this money we haven't been making because of the action in Iran. Gotta be smiling. Everybody happy we're back? Amen. Wendy, hope you feel better. I'm sorry you got the flu.